Join me today while I show you how to make my burger and fries soup. It is so good, it's just comfort in a bowl. So stay tuned, coming up next. Hello and welcome back, friends. If you're new here, my name is Andrea. This is Dessert First, and today we're making soup. So, not a dessert soup. So today I'm going to show you how to make my burger and fries soup. So this was just something that kind of came out of wanting burgers and wanting soup and throwing it together, and this is what we came up with. So, and it's actually quite tasty. So let's get started. Alright, so it is burger and fries soup. So I do have some frozen French fries. I've got them in my air fryer basket. I'm going to cook them in my toaster oven. If you don't have a toaster oven, you can cook them on a sheet tray in your regular oven, 400 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes, just depending. You can follow the directions on your package as well. So I'm going to get these in and we'll get going. Alright, so I do have some bacon cooking. We're just going to use this as our garnish. So if you like bacon cheeseburgers, then go ahead and cook you off some bacon and add that as your garnish. So it's really just cook off however much you want. I cooked off the whole package because we have a tendency to nibble on bacon, so that way we don't eat it all before our soup is ready. So this has just got a little bit more time to go before it's done, and then I'll just drain it on a paper towel. Okay, so while our bacon is finishing, I went on ahead and prepped this. So this soup is going to go together pretty quick. Really about 30 to 35 minutes. But if you want to make it during the week or when you don't have a lot of time and you know that you want to make it, you can go ahead and prep this. So I went on ahead and prepped pretty much everything ahead of time. So I took one yellow onion and diced it up. This one was a large onion, like a really large one, so I just did half of it. But if your onions are smaller, you can just do like one. And it's about a cup of diced onion. And then I had a very large jalapeno that I just sliced, about 1/4 of an inch or a little thinner. And I just did slices. You could dice it if you don't want to see the jalapeno, or you have maybe some younger ones that are going to eat it and it might be a little too spicy to have this much. So that was just one. Equivalent, you would probably do 2 regular size, but these are jumbo. Then I have 8 ounces of Velveeta cheese that I just cubed up. I've got a can of diced tomatoes, and this is a 14.5 ounce can. And then I've got 1 pound of ground beef, and I already cooked this. It's seasoned with salt and pepper. I just cooked this last night, and just popped it in the fridge, so it's just ready to go. A lot of times I will even cook off extra ground beef, season it, and then throw it in the freezer so I have some ready to go for soups or something really quick. So that's another thing. And then here, I just started this one. This is some beef stock. So 3 cups of water, 3 teaspoons of beef base, or you can buy the containers of beef stock. So you're looking at like 24 ounces of stock. And then we'll also add a cup of water to this as well. Okay, So I pulled the bacon, and then I pulled some of the bacon grease out of that because I didn't need all of it. So, but leave a little bit in there. So I'm going to put the heat on medium, and this pan is still really hot, so I'm just going to go ahead and add the onions. And we'll add the jalapenos. Now, if you like the jalapenos raw, then you could always just add those as a garnish along with your bacon. But my husband wants them cooked a little bit, so we'll just go ahead and cook those in with the onions. So we're just going to let those go until they kind of start to get a little bit of browning on the onions. Alright, so our onions are starting to get a little caramelized looking, so we're going to call that good. So I'm going to add our ground beef. Now, if you're cooking your ground beef from raw, you're going to want to cook it either in a separate pan or cook it in this pan before you put the onions and jalapenos in. You could add the jalapenos and onions in once the beef is done cooking. So, but if you're doing pre-cooked, you can go ahead and just dump that in. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the can of diced tomatoes. And then our 3 cups of beef stock. And then we are going to add 1 cup of water. And we might add some more water later, so it just depends on how liquidy it looks. So, all right, well, we're just going to let that come up to a simmer, and we're waiting on our fries to cook. So, all right, so our soup is starting to simmer. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more cups of water, and the reason I'm going to do that is by the time we add the fries, they're going to soak up, especially with leftovers sitting overnight, they're going to soak up a lot of that liquid. So it's going to wind up being super thick. So I'm just going to add 2 more cups of water, and that will be good there. And our fries are almost done. So once this comes back up to a simmer, we will make our roux, because we want this liquid to thicken up just a little bit. So we don't want it runny. So we'll make a roux to add to that. All right, so we're going to get our roux going, and we're going to use about a 1/2 stick of butter. And my butter's room temperature, but if you have cold out of the refrigerator butter, that's fine. Just cut it into chunks so that it will melt a little faster and more even. So I have a 1/2 cup of flour, and we're going to start with part of that first. Let's see kind of where we're at. Let's add a little more. So we've used about half of that, so we've used about 1/4 of a cup of flour. Okay. I'm just going to let that bubble just a little bit, just to kind of get some of that flour cooked off of there. All right, so we are just going to add this, and I want to get this stirred. thickened up just a little bit. So we're going to add our cheese. And the cheese is going to thicken it up a little bit too. And we're just going to turn the heat off. Give this a stir, and we're just going to let the cheese melt. All right, so I stirred this up, and our cheese is all melted. And you can see it's thickened up a little bit. If your soup is, you're just going to have to gauge it. If you feel like it's a little too thin, you can always add a little bit more roux to it. If it's too thick, you can add a little bit more water to it. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of black pepper. And we're going to taste it just to make sure. The beef stock has a lot of salt in it, so it should be fine. Yeah, that's good. All right, so now we're just going to add our French fries. All right, and we're just about ready to dish this up. So we've got one other garnish that we're going to add. All right, so if you like pickles on your burger, then you're not going to want to skip this step. So I've got some pickles. These are, we get these at Costco. But they're like a quick pickle, so they still have some crunch to them. I don't know if you saw that very well. They're just a dill, but they have a nice crunch. And it's just kind of a nice add-on to the soup. So adds a little bit of something sour and crunchy. So we're just gonna cut up a few of these. Our bowl, and we did put Velveeta in, but we're going to top this with just a little bit of shredded cheese. And then we've got some of our bacon bits, and then some of our pickles. There we go. And there you have my burger and fries soup. Super quick and easy to make, super delicious. Maybe not the healthiest, but you know, sometimes you just gotta have some comfort food. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and give me a like and go ahead and share it out. So until next time.